Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to my YouTube page here. It's been a while since I've made an NFL video. I said during the playoffs last year that I wanted to do more content on the NFL, and I was going to do week to week stuff. And I didn't decide to do week to week stuff the first 5 weeks of the season. I did create my massive, ridiculous spreadsheet at the start of the year. So last year, my prediction sheet, if you guys remember, if you watched the handful of you that watched my videos, you'll remember I made that spreadsheet after week 6, and then I made a prediction the rest of the year. So what I'm going to do this year, I'm going to show you my spreadsheet that I've created. I've been keeping track of my wins and losses from what I made in the preseason. And then I'm going to make week-to-week picks on top of that. Now, my week-to-week picks could vary from what I made in the preseason. So, for example, you'll see that I may have overestimated the Cowboys and Steelers and Packers chances this year in the preseason. Which, hey, I'll take that. I'll take that on me. But yeah, we never know how it's going to go. The Packers looked a lot better than I thought they were going to look. But hey, that's the I wanted to put my money where my mouth was when it came down to making preseason predictions. I make fun of people like Adam Ray for their predictions. Well, if I'm going to make fun of Adam Rank, I got to make my own, right? Okay. So, without further ado, let me switch over here to the other screen. Uh-oh. That's the wrong screen. 1 second. Sorry. I had these on the opposite screens here. There, let's put that there. Let's put that there. Now let's click here. Hey, there we go. Okay, let me see it. Let me blow this up a little bit. So if you remember last year, this was my lovely sheet last year. And last year I only tracked the AFC. This year I decided to go a little further. Decided to do the entire NFL. So let me zoom in a little more so it's a little easier to see. And then we'll just, I'll kind of go over a little bit of what I've done here. I think that's as best I'm going to get it because I got to keep my camera here in the corner. So what I've done here, so I've been keeping track for the first 5 weeks and of my scores. And last week I didn't do as well. Last week was my worst week, and these are just straight up picks. Now, as we get to the week to week picks. In the second part of this video, I am going to pick against the spread, so I'll have money line picks and against the spread picks, and we'll see how we do there because that's what most people do. But I will say I didn't track against the spread the first 5 weeks. But as you can see here, the Chiefs, I was wrong on them for the first 2 weeks. I thought they'd beat the Lions and lose the Jags, and it turned out it was the exact opposite there. But 3 straight wins there in Kansas City. So as you can see here on the AFC West, I have 2 losses on each of these. I thought the Broncos would actually be 3-2. I thought they'd be a little improved this year, and they looked like an absolute train wreck. I actually picked the Raiders to lose their first 5 games. As you can see, they're sitting at 2-3. Still not in great position, but they're better than they're a little better than I thought. We'll see what happens when they get to the meter schedule. As you can see here, I've got them strength for a long loss of games here. From week 7 all the way down to week 16. Chargers 2-2 on them. It's hard to predict the Chargers because they have just a buffoon of a head coach. So you'll see here, I do have a lot of wins here in the future for the Jets. A lot of this was the Aaron Rodgers factor. I'm not going back and revise my picks. It is what it is. I'll be a big boy and admit that. I'll say if I was wrong, but my prediction was based on their defense and Aaron Rodgers, and obviously. Looks like they're not going to be as good this year as we thought. Maybe they're a little more plucky than we thought. With Zach Wilson playing, I'm going to say playing well, but at least playing a little better than over the weeks. The Bills, I had the Bills losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I had the Bills going 9-8. I think I have them missing the playoffs, or maybe they're snuck in at the 7th seed. But I had them 3-2 for the first 5 games, and they're 3-2. Even though I've missed 2 games, I thought they'd lose the Commanders. They did pull that one out, and I thought they'd beat the Jags, and they ended up dropping that one. So their record's the same as what I had here. Dolphins, I've just missed them against the Patriots. Boy, what a ridiculous letdown the Patriots have been. As you can see, I'm 2-3 on them. as we get over here to the rest of the AFC, Colts, 3-2 on the Colts. Jags, I have missed completely on the Jags. You can see the Jags, I have them going 13-4. Now, I had the Jags starting out 4-0. They started out 2-2, and then I had them losing to the Bills to start 4-1. Well, they're 3-2, so they're only a game worse than what I predicted. But I've missed 3 of their games, so I've been that was like my story last year with Jacksonville too. I was pretty close on their overall record, but I was missing on games because I would hit this one and miss that one and so forth. Texans, I had the Texans started 0-5 and they're 2-3. Their CJ Stroud's played a lot better than a lot of people thought. Titans, they're 2-3, but man, they're every bit as bad as a 1-4 or 0-5 team. Ravens don't look as good as their 3-2 record would indicate. Their offense is really struggling, and I'm perfect on my picks so far with the Browns and the Bengals. Those are the only 2 AFC teams I haven't got a wrong pick on yet. And the Steelers, I have the Steelers actually winning quite a few games this year. And I've only missed 1 game on theirs against the Texans. If I had to do over again, I'd go back and probably pick some of these other games later on in the season as losses. I think let me scroll over here to the right. I had the Steelers at 13-4 with the Ravens at 13-4. I don't think either team gets to 13 wins. But it is what it is. I'll take my losses like a man. Real quick, I'll review the NFC side down here below. Haven't missed a game yet with the Eagles. No surprises there. They're pretty salty. Cowboys have only missed 1. The Cardinals with them, and I actually have the Cowboys after the 49ers lost. I had them winning every game until the last game of the season. So I had the Cowboys going 15-2. And I would really take that back again if I could. Looking at their schedule, I'd probably go ahead and have them losing to the Eagles in Week 9, and then probably I'd still split them with the Eagles. I'd probably have them losing to the Bills and the Dolphins. So I'd give them 3 extra losses. So instead of 15 I'd probably have them 12-5 as opposed to 15-2. It's still a solid team, solid record, probably enough still to win the East. Commanders, I'm 3-2 on them. Giants are a terrible team. I've picked them 100% correct so far. Lions, I have really missed on the Lions. They're 4-1. Through this point of the season, I had them going 3-2, so just 1 game worse than their actual record. But I've missed on 3 of their games. So, Packers, I really thought the Packers would be better this year. I thought the Packers would be 4-1 at this point. They obviously sit at 2-3 with, they're getting blown out by the Lions, and just an incredibly frustrating loss to the Raiders on Monday Night Football. Vikings, obviously, I had them at 2-3. They're sit at 1-4, not because of their quarterback play. Their defense is atrocious. Bears, I was pretty close here on the Bears at I had them going 0-5 to start. They're 1-4. I've missed 1 game on the Bucks. Falcons, I have them perfect. 5-0 on my Falcons picks, 2-3 on Saints picks, 4-1 on Panthers picks. I've gotten the 49ers starting off 5-0 and actually have them winning this week too. We'll see when we get to the week-to-week stuff if I still pick that game or not. Seahawks, I've split those. Rams 3-2, and Cardinals. I've only missed 1 game. I had the Cardinals starting 0-5, and obviously they're 1-4. Cardinals are a little better football team than I initially thought they were going to be. Josh Dobbs he's not a very good quarterback, but he's scrappy enough. The Cowboys, they always have a game or two like this every single season where they just absolutely lay down and die to an inferior team. But hey, the Cardinals, they've got a lot of, every NFL team has great players on it. So as you can see here, my overall record, these are kind of my, I have to add these up and then divide by 2 so I can get my total numbers here. So here's what I've done. Now these are just straight up. This is straight up so this would be like your money line picks. I went 13-3 in week 1. I went 11-5, and then 10-6, then 12-4. And this last week was my worst week at 9-5. Again, these are based on preseason picks. Now, these are against this. This is not against the spread. This is the money line picks. So if I sum this up, let's see. We want this divided by this plus this. That is not. There we go. Got to make sure. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Order of operations. Okay. So I'm at 70%, almost just under 71% on my picks so far. So that's not too bad. You'd like your money line picks to be 3 out of 4 because they're a lot easier to pick. But yeah, this last week kind of hurt me with only 14 games. I only got 9 of them right. So, okay. So again, that's the spreadsheet there. Like I said, I'm gonna keep this going all year to see how I did against my picks in the preseason. Now coming here down the bottom, I am going to have here. Let's blow this up so it's a little easier to see. I am going to have. I'm going to keep a tab for each week of the regular season, and we're going to do these videos on Wednesday night before the Thursday night game so we can get all the picks in. And now, sometimes the money line, sometimes the against the spread, or the point totals, sometimes that might shift. Is that right? 47? 47 is the points. Yeah, they're getting 47 points. Okay. So if it shifts after that, I'm locking my picks in on Wednesday here. So let's say here the Chiefs are 10.5 point favorites, and let's say I go ahead and I pick the Chiefs to win and cover, and then the Chiefs, and then say the line moves to 9 for whatever reason. It's not going to move to 9, but let's just say it does, and then the Chiefs win by 10. Okay, so against the official line, they'll have covered the spread. Against my pick, they will have not covered it. So I'm going to, for what I have, or what I pull here on Wednesday night, day before Thursday night games, this is what my official line is going to be locked in at. So I'm just letting you know that's how I'm going to be doing that. So Wednesday night before the Sunday and Monday games, of course the Thursday game is not going to move in 24 hours. But I will lock everything in on the Wednesday night. So for whatever it is right now. So sometimes that may work in my advantage. Sometimes it may work against me. But I'm going to be consistent there. So, okay. So what I'm going to do? Oops, wrong one. I got to click over here. I'm looking here, but the screen is there because I want to make sure I'm facing the camera. When it comes to this game, so we're going to start with the Chiefs and the Broncos. Chiefs and Broncos, this is a tale of two different teams. Now, the Chiefs' offense is struggling. When I say they're struggling, they're not struggling per se. They're still 9th in the league in scoring. Patrick Mahomes has only had one 300-yard game, and that was in week 2. So that's very unusual for Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs' running game has been better. They weren't great this past week against the Vikings, but they did enough. This is obviously a rivalry game. Last year, the Broncos were 5-12, were a terrible football team. Russell Wilson was really struggling last year, but I think two of his best games came against Kansas City. Now, the game in Denver, a lot of that was just the Chiefs were up 27-0, and they took their foot off the gas. Now, the Chiefs never trailed in that game, and they end up winning. I think they won by 6 or 7, but they had a 2-score lead with like 30 seconds. The Broncos got it like a garbage time touchdown to make it look closer than it was. And similar thing in the game in Kansas City, the Chiefs had a 10-point lead, and the Broncos got a touchdown with under a minute to go to cut the lead to 3, and the Chiefs ended up winning by 3. So again, we have to factor all those things in. So you do have to factor in rivalry games, how teams are playing. The Broncos' defense last year was actually pretty salty. Their defense this year obviously has been the worst in the league. Now, a lot of that is due to the fact that they gave up 70 points in what was it, 700 yards of offense to the Dolphins. I think it was something like that, and they gave up over 300 yards on the ground. That's Madden numbers, and so I am going to pick the Chiefs to win this game. So what I'll do here is I'll put I'm going to color each of the picks I'm going to have. So, and then if I'm going to take the team to cover, I'll highlight the negatives, the spread, 10.5. If I'm going to take the team to the other, I'm sorry, if I'm going to take the what am I trying to say here? I'm going to take the Chiefs to actually cover the 10.5 points right now. So I'm going to select this. If I was going to take the Broncos to cover that number, I'll click up here on them or do something. The 47 that's the total points. I don't know. I'm not going to do a point. I'm not great at doing total points. So we're just going to do against the spread on the line and the pick. All right. So let's go down to the next game here. So we go to the international series game in London or Germany. I'm not sure where this one's at, but it's definitely overseas because it starts at 8:30 in the morning. And these times are Central Time because I'm in the Central Time zone. Ravens and Titans. Ravens are opening as a 4-point favorite. As you can see, 69% chance here that this game's going to go. See, the Chiefs were at 85%, on the index. This is the ESPN numbers here. If this game was played in Tennessee, I might give the Titans a slight advantage here, but I'm definitely going with the Ravens to win this game. And now the thing with both these teams have they more so in the Titans make games into rock fights, and it's kind of a reflection of their head coach Mike Vrabel. And with the 4-point line, it opened to 3, it's moved to 4. I think that's just Vegas trying to get people to put more money on the Titans to take that maybe a 3-point cover there at the end. I'm not taking the bait here. I think the Ravens are at least a touchdown better than the Titans. So I'm going to pick the Ravens to win and to cover the 4 points. Commanders and the Falcons. This game is being played in Atlanta. These are two teams that have very interesting offenses. The Commanders are so hit and miss with Sam Howell as their quarterback, and Sam Howell is I actually don't mind Sam Howell. He's actually I think with the right coaching, he could actually be a solid quarterback. Maybe not a top 10 quarterback, but he can be a solid quarterback with the right coaching. But they're so inconsistent in what they do on offense. In Atlanta, you never know with Desmond Ridder what exactly you're going to get with him. He actually played a good game last week, and he led a game-winning field goal drive when they to beat the Texans. Which that's not saying much. The Texans, while they're a plucky team, they're not great. This is a very close game. 2.5 points here. So this is just begging people to put money on the Falcons. Which is like, are they really wanting people to? What are they thinking about the Commanders' chances here? I am going with the home team here with the Falcons, and I'm going to go ahead and say they also will cover that spread. So I'm taking the favorites and the points on each of these first 3. Vikings and the Bears. Minnesota is opening as a 2.5-point favorite. Minnesota just lost Jefferson. I can't even remember his name. Their best receiver, the best receiver in football. Why can't I not remember his name? They just lost him for at least 4 games. He's definitely out this week. The Bears are coming off a big win. And both these teams are the same. They're both 1-4 and 1-3-1 against the spread. 2.5-point favorites for the Vikings. I think the Vikings season is going south as fast as possible. I'm going to pick the Bears straight up to take this game. So when I picked the underdog, I'm trying to think how I want to. I'm picking the Bears to win. Obviously, if I'm picking the Bears to win, they're definitely going to cover. But if I was, okay, never mind. I'm not going to overanalyze it too much. I'll just go ahead and just select. Even though that doesn't make any sense to select that, you guys know what I'm. I'm trying to think if it. I'll tell you what. To make it simpler, when I do this, I'll select the money line here, so I know exactly when I pick the underdog. Okay, let's move on to the Seahawks versus the Bengals. Bengals, surprisingly, even though after coming off a big win last week, Vegas is not really. They're not buying into this. You get 3 points typically at home. They're only 2.5 points, so that really means the Vegas kind of sees Seattle as a half-point favorite here against the Bengals. Joe Burrow had his first good game of the season. I'm not going to say he looks back. I mean, he definitely had a good game. That's because he finally threw the ball to Jamar Chase. Seattle's defense is going to give a lot of problems to Cincinnati here. Give me. I am going to. I'm gonna go ahead and pick. Oh shoot! What do I do with this game? The Bengals are at home. This is kind of a trap game. Let's go back and let's consult the. What did I pick on the preseason game? I picked them to beat the Seahawks. Of course, this is when I thought that Joe Burrow was going to be healthy all season. Yeah, let's go ahead and stick with the Bengals to win, and I will pick them to cover. It's just, I mean, I think they'll definitely. Well, it's winning by a field goal. Yeah, let's go. Something like 27-24. I mean, I think they'll win and cover there. Even though I do think Seattle has a decent shot to win this game, I think the Bengals probably have the ball last and end up winning. 49ers and Browns. 49ers 7-point favorites. So this game, I am picking the 49ers to win. They're just too talented of a team. But I do think the game's going to be a lot closer. I am going to take. I guess we'll go ahead and do it that way. Click on that. I'm taking the points. I'm taking the Browns in the points. Or I'm taking the 49ers to win outright, but I'm not going to have them cover the 7-point spread. I think this is like I think the Browns defense makes this ugly. I think it's like a 20-17 victory for the 49ers. So give me the 49ers straight up, but then give me the Browns and the points. So I think we'll just I need to click there. Even though it doesn't make a lot of sense to click there because that's the point spread, or that's the total points. But you guys know what I'm trying to do here, which means I need to do it. I need to be consistent here. There we go. Okay, Panthers and Dolphins. These really large spreads are hard to bet. Dolphins obviously have been an offensive juggernaut over the first 5 weeks. The Panthers have really struggled. As you can see here, it's opening at 40. It will open at 46 total points, which is not that many for a game with the Dolphins involved, which tells you what they think of the Panthers' offense and Bryce Young. This is an easy pick here, at least straight up. Taking the Dolphins to win the game. Now, when it comes to the 13.5 points, it opened at 10.5 and has moved to 13.5 points. So that means at 10.5, everybody was putting their money on the Dolphins, so that they had to ratchet that up. So the Dolphins have to win this game by 2 full touchdowns in order for you to win against the spread here. So we're talking 28-14. 35-21. I don't think the Panthers are good enough to score 21 points. The problem is that if it's let's say it's like a 31-17 game and the Dolphins are covering, and then they get a backdoor cover on a field goal to make it 11 points or something like that. Something crazy like that happens. 13.5 is a huge number. And the Dolphins are 4-1 against the spread, and the Panthers have not covered. So I'm going to go ahead, even though it's a big number. I'm going to take the Dolphins to cover that point spread. That's a big number, but history is telling me here that the Dolphins are 80% against the spread, and the Panthers haven't hit yet. So we're going to go with the history here. We're going to pick the Dolphins to win and to cover. Colts and Jaguars, 2-3-2 teams. This is a big matchup in their division. Jaguars obviously have the better quarterback. The Colts just lost their quarterback for at least a month. I think the Jaguars, they roll here. I think this 4-point spread, this is going to be an absolute blowout. I think the Jaguars are going to absolutely humiliate and embarrass the Indianapolis Colts here. So give them to win and to win by more than 4 points. Saints opening as a 1.5-point favorite over the Texans. I think the Saints are one of the most overrated teams, out in the National Football League. Give me the Texans to actually win, and obviously I'm going to take them. I'm taking the underdog to win. Obviously, I'm picking them on the spread there too. Patriots and Raiders. Raiders opening as the 3-point favorite. This is a no-brainer. Raiders all day, and they're going to cover that 3 points. Cardinals and Rams. Cardinals, like I said in the opening intro, Cardinals are a little better team than I was giving them credit for. Look at their record. They're 1-4 overall, but they're 3-2 against the spread. The Rams similarly are 2-3, but are 3-1-1 against the spread. This tells you that both these teams keep games a lot closer. They're not winning games, but they are covering. I am going to take the Rams to win this game, but I'm going to take the Cardinals to keep it within 7 points. Eagles and Jets. Eagles opening as they opened as a 6-point favorite. The lines moved to 7 because it looks like all that money was coming in on the Eagles. Look, Jalen Hurts has not opened this season like he did open last year, but they're still 5-0 with that their number one draft pick Carter. I can't remember his first name. The defensive tackle. He's been at Jalen Carter. Is it Jalen Carter? Do they have two? They have two Jalens now. I can't remember his first name. Anyway, you guys know who I'm talking about. He has been an absolute beast on the defensive line. And obviously, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, they can't be stopped. They just cannot be stopped on the brotherly shove, the tush push play, which they are now, I think, at 94% on the season on their conversion rate. I think they're 13 of 14 or 14 of 15, something like that. Just insane. Me personally, I think the play should be outlawed. I don't think you should. I think quarterback sneaking is fine. I don't think you should be able to push guys from behind. I mean, you can't pull them. Why should you be able to push them? So I think that play is going to get outlawed after this season. But hey, it's legal right now. So what would they say? Smoke if you got them. So I don't think the Jets are going to have enough here to win, to beat the Eagles. I am going to pick the Eagles to win. That being said, I am going to pick the Jets to stay within a touchdown. I think it's going to be a lot closer game than people think. So give me the Eagles like something like 27-21, something along those lines. Lions at the Buccaneers. Lions 4-1 record and 4-1 against the spread. Against the Bucs 3-1 and 3-1 also against the spread. So these two teams are playing according to how Vegas is saying they're going to play. They're winning games they should, and they're covering games that they should. So this is going to be a tougher game to pick. Opened at 3, it's moved to 3.5. What looks like when people were, which that doesn't make a lot of sense. It opens at 3 and moves to 3.5. that tells me there that the money was coming in on Tampa. No. Yeah, because they were, yeah. No. I'm sorry. That's the other way. It was that's a weird number. 3.5 points. 3.5 points on the road. I'm really baffled by that number. Opening at 3. That's weird to move a half point in that direction. That's interesting. Anyway, Lions and Bucks. I think I'm going to go ahead and go with the underdog in this game. I've been picking mostly favorites. I'm going to pick the Buccaneers to win this game, and not even just to lose and cover. I'm going to pick them to win straight up. I think the Lions are obviously a very good team. Obviously, the index here is a lot closer than some of these other matchups. So give me the Lions. Give me the Bucks to win a. I think it's going to be a close game, but I do think Tampa is going to come out on top here as Detroit gets their second loss. Sunday night game, this is going to be an absolute blowout. The Giants 1-4, and they're terrible. They actually should be 0-5. There's no reason they should have beaten the Arizona Cardinals in that stupid game. They're 0-5 against the spread. Bills, while coming off a fairly ho-hum game against the Jaguars in London and losing, they put together some points at the end, made the game look a lot closer than it really was. But the Bills' offense is still number 2 in the NFL. This is going to be an absolute shellacking. Now, 14 points, geez. If it was 13.5, I think 13.5, I would put money all day on the Bills to cover that spread. At 14, I mean, it could be something like, 38 to... It could be 38-17. They could be up 38-17, and Daniel Jones gets a touchdown as time expires to make it 38-24, and they would, and the Bills still win by 14 points, and I would lose if I picked the 14. So this is the problem with picking with these really large spreads. I'm going to go ahead and the Giants are just not good. They are not a good football team. If you look at the FPI index here, 10.5%, is there a team with a worse chance? I mean, even the Panthers are at 12. And the Broncos at 15. So, but again, I'm getting 14 points to cover here. I mean, look at this. Look at the money line. If you were to put money on the Bills, you'd have to put $900 down to win $100. And if you put $100 on the Giants and they win, or they win the bet, they don't have to win the game. Just you win that bet, that's $600. I'm taking the Bills to cover those 14 points. There's no way. The Giants are a really, really bad football team, and Brian Daboll is in way over his head with Daniel Jones. Daboll's a great coach. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't think he should have been off. I don't think he should have been coach of the year last year. I think that was ridiculous. Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback. The numbers just don't bear out. So, and then the Monday night game, we've got the Cowboys as 2.5-point favorites over the Chargers. Chargers at home, which really doesn't give them any advantage here. I think the Cowboys come back in a big way here. I think they get back on track. They get back on the saddle. I think they win this game, and they cover the 2.5 points. I see them winning this game by 10 points. The Chargers, again, dealing with injuries. Of course, they have a buffoon of a head coach who has just made absolutely ridiculous fourth down decisions the last 2 weeks. Somehow they have paid, even though the plays haven't worked, his defense has bailed him out. Just absolute buffoonery by Brandon Staley. I think the way he's been coaching, it's almost like he's coaching like he wants to be fired and let out of this contract or whatever. I'm totally have no idea what he's doing. Anyway, so again, I don't see a ton of great games this week in terms of like matchups I really want to watch. I think the Seahawks and Bengals game will probably be a fairly good one. That's definitely on the must watch. Lions and Buccaneers. So Lions and Buccaneers, Seahawks and Bengals, both games that I'm going to really be interested in how they do. Obviously going to be watching my Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to just roll the Broncos though. So those are my predictions for the week. Let me know what you think in the comments below. So next, since this is my first video of making weekly predictions, what I'll do next week is, I think on Tuesday, I'll put out a video, which will probably come out Wednesday morning, and I think I'll release these on Thursday mornings, the prediction ones. Hang on, I gotta sneeze. The magic of the pause button. So next week, as we get through week 6, I will put out a video, which will probably come out Wednesday morning, but I'll film it, I'll record it on Tuesday night, going over my predictions from the week, doing a weekly recap, and then we'll obviously do the next video on the next day. So, yeah, that's my picks for the day. So if you can get by my my Excel spreadsheets here and all this fun stuff, that's pretty much all I know how to do. I don't want to. Like I said, I'm pretty basic when it comes to this stuff. What is this, Kaspersky? Might have to edit that out. Oh goodness, it wanted me to read the news in the antivirus world. So anyway, thanks so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel for more content. I am going to be coming back with some more video game videos here shortly. I haven't recorded anything in about over a month after I got done playing Starfield. I still want to finish up Mass Effect 3. Obviously, I've already played that all the way through, but I do want to get that recording done, which is on the PlayStation, which means I need to move my microphone downstairs. So, but I am going to be starting a new series on Assassin's Creed Origins. That's the game that takes place in Egypt. I have played that game through. I've beaten the game, the story, but I've done very little in the game. It's one of the Assassin's Creed games I know very little about. Ironically, it's the only Assassin's Creed game that I've finished that I really don't know much about anything else in the world. I kind of just beeline the story when I played it back in 2017, and I've only played it the one time, and so I've got some extra content for it now. And I played it on the PS4 back in the day, so now I have it on the PC now, so I'm going to play it on the PC for the first time, and we'll see what we can do with that. But I am going to be recording those videos and uploading those to YouTube, so that'll be my new Let's Play series. It obviously won't be a blind playthrough, but it will be a fairly new playthrough since I haven't played the game in 6 years, and like I said, I've only played it once. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. Again, thumbs up if you like it. Leave a comment down below. Share the video around, and hopefully we can get some traction on these videos going forward. Yeah, and maybe, who knows, maybe we'll do podcasts on the weekends if I get enough people interested in it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you later.